On Triple M, you're listening to Rural Focus, your voice of agriculture across regional WA. My name's Holly, and we love to talk to people who are part of the RRR Network. If you haven't heard of the RRR Network, it's the Rural Regional Remote Women's Network of WA, which, spells it out pretty clearly there. And we're talking it to one of RRR Network's board members this morning, Blair Stubna. Good morning, Blair.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, doing well. Blair, you've been involved with the RRR Network for a couple of years now and you serve on the board. So I'd love to know what first drew you to the organisation and what inspired you to sort of step into a leadership role as well.
Yeah, cool. So prior to being involved in the network, I actually had no idea about it. I was quite young, working in the ag and processing industries. So I actually came to know the RRR Network through the Value Creators STEM Jumpstart program, which was a really cool workshop for anyone looking to get involved in that. But what struck me straight away with the RRR Network was it wasn't just another sort of networking organisation. It was a community of women who genuinely support each other and wanted to see communities succeed. So I thought that was pretty cool. Living and working and growing up in regional WA, it can feel like opportunities are very city-centric. So the RRR Network changes that by creating connection, leadership opportunities, and most importantly, advocacy. So that's why I got involved, and stepping into the board felt like a natural step for me once I left working for the industry that I was working in and starting my own business. I had a lot more time to devote myself to community. So I thought, why not? And jumped in head first.
I feel like a lot of people will relate to what you were saying there about growing up in regional WA and maybe just not feeling like you're given the same opportunities. So RRR Network, they're so fantastic and everyone has a why. So what inspired your commitment to the RRR Network? You know, what keeps you passionate about staying and serving on the board?
Yeah, so I think whether or not I realised it earlier on, especially when I was in management and leadership roles, is what really lights my heart on fire and my general ethos for my business is helping people realise that they're capable of more than what they think. So through my own business, I spend a lot of time developing leaders and helping businesses grow. But the RRR Network lets me contribute to that on a much larger scale as well. So I get to support Kendall and myself and the other board members, help her to create spaces where women build confidence, share experience, gain further education, which is a huge one. Recently been involved in the Enricher program in Williams. So that was really cool just to sit amongst all these amazing women and watch their sort of aha moments as well. And seeing the ripple effect, like one conversation, one connection, one opportunity can completely change someone's confidence or career, like it did for me back in the day. And I think that's just incredibly cool.
Yes, the Enrich Her program sounded so fantastic. We did talk to a few people that gave some really good feedback there. And that's exactly what the RRR Network is all about, connecting women from across regional, rural, remote WA. Why do you think networks like this are so important for women and their communities?
I think connection in itself is really powerful. And especially in regional communities where distance can feel so isolating and such a barrier. It's a reminder that you're not doing it alone. Like whether you're running a business, I don't like the term farmer's wife because you're still running a business, working in leadership, changing careers. There's always someone within this network that has walked a similar path. And I think that when people and women especially feel supported, they become stronger leaders, business owners, and contributors to their communities. And I think that creates benefits that extend beyond the individual.
That's actually sparked a memory in my mind of when I was little. You know, when you're in primary school, they ask you what you want to be when you grow up. I
Yeah.
used to always say farmer's wife. And now I look back and I'm like, That actually involves more than I probably thought. I think I probably just saw my mum and
Yeah.
maybe I did realise how hardworking she was on the farm, but there is leadership to it. So, and of course
Oh God, yeah.
we all bring different experiences to leadership. So Blair, I'd love to know your journey, how your journey shaped the way you approach your role on the board and how you support other women.
Yeah, so I guess as I said, like I grew up rurally down in Esperance, so I think opportunities down there are quite limited. So I've always worked from the ground up. I've had careers that have taken a few different paths, and that's included a lot of setbacks. I'm now a regional business owner, been a mum for 10 years, and someone that's learnt that leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about listening, creating opportunities, and helping people back themselves. I think those experiences have made me a very practical and hands-on leader, and I like to focus on making things accessible and making sure that women feel like they belong, like regardless of where they are, regardless of where they're starting from. As I said before, like there is always someone that's walked that path. So connection is huge.
What's your business, Blair? Well, while we've got you.
So I've got a leadership and business growth consultancy. It's called Ember and Access, and I work with small businesses and large organisations to help develop process and especially like their leadership in up and comers.
Amazing. So, looking ahead, when we're talking about the RRR Network, what excites you most about the future of supporting women in regional areas? And what would you say to women who are sort of thinking about getting involved?
Yeah, so we already have an incredible network, but I think we're only just sort of scratching the surface of what's possible. As more women connect and get involved, collaborate and step into like leadership, the impact grows, not just for individuals, but businesses, families and entire communities. I think people don't realize how much women and families and education really support a community's stability and growth. So if you have been thinking about getting involved, I'd say jump in. You don't have to have a leadership title, you don't have to own a business, but if you're looking to learn, grow, connect with like-minded women, you'll definitely find a place at the RRR Network, just like I have.
Yes, get to know some of the people that are part of the network. There's some lovely,
Yeah,
lovely human beings. And Blair,
yeah.
you are one of those. Thanks for jumping on this morning.
Cheers, Holly.
Blair Stubna. She's a board member at the RRR Network. If you want to learn more about it, go to rrrnetwork.com.au and they have some great socials as well. You're listening to Rural Focus on Triple M.